So I got the Weatherby 270 Weatherby and the 7mm Rev Mag in Sako. So you can see how similar those cases are. Both belted mags, same size of head and length. Those are, the Weatherby has the radius shoulder and maybe a tiny bit less taper. Case capacity is probably the same. Anyways, this is a 130 grain Barnes TTSX going 3,400 feet per second, roughly, out of a 26-inch barrel. So 26-inch barrel. And the Sako, these are 160 grain. You can go down to 140, and with the 140 grain in a 7mm with a 24-inch barrel, you're not going to get 3,400 feet per second. You might get 33. This is a 34 and a half, I believe. That's all they make in the S90. So I'll do a trigger pull. Those shells off in the distance, and so let's go. So nothing in there. Now this TriggerTech trigger, like I said, is really nice. I like it. And then I'm just gonna do this closer to the camera, the mic. Like it's very smooth, and it doesn't sound as tinny as that other one. Now, of course, I like Weatherby's. 2 pounds, 5.8 ounces. Do it one more time. £2, 7.6 ounces. So it's right in there. A little over 2 1/4. 2 pounds, 5 ounces, 5.4 ounces again. I do like this Monte Carlo stock. It's got a little bit more drop and more pronounced cheek piece, maybe. It feels good. I like it. Now, let's bring this one up. I think the Sako is a little heavier. I'll weigh him. Sako feels heavier, which is weird because the bore is a little bit bigger and it's a shorter barrel. The wood is heavier, I noticed that. Oh, the Weatherby's got a threaded muzzle. Now I'll show you this. See how that sounds? Like it doesn't even matter if you go slow. Now, I wonder if I drop the mag. The magazines are kind of weird. You got to push on it, and then you can go like that. Then it'll pull out. A little bit sticky. Yeah, it's not quite as loud because it was rubbing maybe a little bit on this. But it just sounds... It sounds I don't know. Now, there's nothing in there, obviously. I will check the trigger. This one. 228. 2 pounds. And this is set on the second, number 2 setting. 2 pounds, 2.6. See how I can see. I think this is This might be more consistent. Neither one of them have 2.2 every time. So neither one of them have creep. Like they're both a single stage trigger. That one has a touch of over travel. So over travel is where after the sear, it fires, then it moves back a little bit. There's no creep. Do that slower. You can see it move. Whereas the Browning, I can't remember this one. Yeah, it's the same. It has a touch of over travel, which doesn't really matter. It kind of feels weird when there is none. So they're both really nice triggers. I don't know why anyone would replace the trigger on either one of them. Now I'm going to weigh them. They're very similar. 7 pounds, 15 ounces. 15.4, so it's right at, see that? £7, 15.4 ounces is the Sako. Now the Weatherby is 7 pounds, 15.6 ounces. 0.2 of an ounce heavier. So, I thought it was lighter, but that's probably because it has a longer barrel, 2 inches longer, and it's balanced better. It's when you pick them up, right there, it's just balanced nicer. The little bit longer barrel helps with that. So it felt a little lighter, even though it's not. It's basically identical. Back to a comparison between a Sako S90 and a Weatherby Mark V. This is in a 7mm rem mag. I'll just look at the stock. I'll take this out later, and then I'll compare them both in the stock. So you can see that it's got this plate here, and this is what replaces a recoil lug, or like in the Tika, they have a little floating piece of metal in there. This one screws in here, and I think it goes down too a little bit, but I'm not really impressed with that. It's got cross bolts, which are aluminum too. Surprised me. Like, why would they make those aluminum? And, well, wait. It sticks to that, but not this. Well, it does. Okay, those aren't aluminum. Ignore that last part. What does this slot do? This slot does nothing. Doesn't do anything. This is your recoil lug, this little tiny piece here. Hopefully you can see that and it's in focus. I might just do this where I can see what's going on. This looks like a USB, but it's not. It's also a recoil lug. I'm going to put this together and see. This isn't a very good review because I'm just discovering stuff about this now. This receiver, so it's flat on the bottom. That thing goes up against the cross bolt, and it sits in, this thing goes up against, and it's also your mag release, and this is where the action screw goes up into there, and it sits in there. Really interesting. It just seems, I guess it works, and so there's no real bedding. I guess this is, you could consider this bedding. The inside of the bore looked awesome. Probably the nicest that I've seen. I now, oh, and the bottom metal is 2 pieces. It's screwed together there. Don't know why they would do that. That seems weird. I'm going to put these together and I'll compare them better that way. Sako S90 Weatherby Mark V. This is a sporter, but the wood is nicer on the sporter. Well, if you like the gloss. The Sako has a detached magazine that holds 4 easily, and there's a ton of room. They made these magazines extra long, so if you want to load long bullets, I think they made a fair bit of free bore there too. However, the twist is still only 1 in 9, 1 to 9.5, I think. The Weatherby has a box magazine and a plastic shell follower. I don't like that. You can adjust the trigger right there. It's got a real nice trigger. It's a TriggerTech trigger. I like this curved blade. I like the feel of it. It's a very wide blade too. Now the bolt on these Mark Vs, this is a 9-lug bolt. And it's very heavy duty. Push feed, so it's got 9 locking lugs. It's an oversized bolt. It's very smooth. I think it's smoother than the Sako. Everything with the well, you can see the size difference. Maybe you can't. Go like that. You should be able to notice that. So this is also got the spiral fluting on the bolt. The tolerances are like, it feeds really nice from the magazine, and it's smooth. I think it's smoother. I don't know. It's not like a Tika where you barely tip it. One thing I'm not crazy about on these Weatherbys is when you cock it, you have to give it it stops there, and you have to give it a fair bit to get it to cock. Now, in a hunting situation, it's not a problem, but fairly tight too. It actually slides easier. It just feels a little bit gritty compared to that Weatherby. Now these ones, this is where you adjust the trigger, and it's got 5 settings, and right now it's set on number 2. I'll show this. So you go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's very similar to the CZ. It's almost identical to the CZ, CZ, depends where you're from. This trigger also, you can move it forward and back. If you want a closer trigger pull, I guess, if you want this closer to there, you can move this back. It's got slots. It's like a little tiny mini Picatinny rail. And then, so the trigger itself is in two pieces, so the trigger blade screws on to there, which, I don't know, there's one more spot where it could fail. Well, I don't have this in right. I just kind of put it in loose, so it didn't go in that little slot. So I'll have to loosen these off. So they sent you this screwdriver. Which is nice. There, now it's in. Another screw still in there. So when you torque these up, I like to get them both snug and then bang it on the ground. And then torque the front. You want to make sure they're at least snug. And that, it's in there. So it has a free floating barrel. I don't know if the Weatherby does, so you do that. And actually I heard a little snap, like it snapped in. And then you torque it to 40 pounds, I think. Do that when I get my wrench. I think I'm gonna move the camera around to a different angle and then get a thing, see if this is free floating. Usually Weatherbys have a pressure point in there that you could take out, but I never do unless they're shooting. I'll take this off and see if it's bedded. Show you the recoil lug on that. It's the Mark V has these plates and it doesn't appear to be pillar, unless you would call that pillar bedding. I wouldn't. The Sako is not pillar bedded. Okay. Now, here's the Trigger Tech trigger. Here's the beefy recoil lug that appears, it's machined right into the receiver. And then the bolt goes, the action screw goes right into there a long ways. That seems like a better system to me. And it is glass bedded in the front, just where the lug goes, and not in the back. So this is a Weatherby bronze sporter. So this is not black, this is bronze, and then I got to change these and get some nice matte. I'd like a pick, two-piece pick, maybe even a one-piece. The problem with the one-piece picks, it impedes in your loading when you have a floor plate. So I like this system way better. However, I mean, the Sako works. The older Sakos had a recoil lug, and I like this trigger. That's a good trigger too. But now, the main thing is how accurate they are and the looks. Pros and cons so far. The detached magazine I actually like, because you can just leave it in there. It's pretty much locked in, and you can top load it just like you would with a dropping floor plate. I like the short bolt throw on both of them. This one has a 60, and it just snaps up and cocks a little bit nicer when it doesn't catch, whereas this has a 54, which I like, but it goes there and it kind of stops. Oh no, I did it that time. Okay. This action is smoother and quieter. It's almost silent. This is noticeably louder and just sounds kind of gritty. The triggers are very similar, but I would give it to the Weatherby maybe. I like the feel of the trigger bait better, but this was more consistent slightly. I like the wood and the stock on the Weatherby better. Stainless steel should be better. The bore, when I put the bore scope in it, was nice. It looked really nice and clean and ready to shoot. Usually there's stuff in there. The wood is nice on here. I just like the shiny stocks better. The Weatherby has a recoil pad that does something. This is like hard rubber, and you can't change it. I don't think it's not screwed in, so I think it's glued on. They're both really nice guns, and it's going to come down to which shoots better. I like the 270 Weatherby cartridge actually better, but more expensive. Not to reload. Now it'd be nice if they would put a 1 in 8 twist in the 270. They're doing it in the 257. So two pretty nice guns. This Weatherby was $900 cheaper than this one. I got it on sale, so it was, and it was normally the same price or a little bit less. And I got this on sale too. I got this one $600 off, but normally they're both over $2,000 Canadian. Well, the Weatherby you can't get anymore. It's that particular one is discontinued. If you want some nice wood, I think you can get a sporter version, but it's not that nice of a stock. It's the pistol grip and stuff. I kind of like the checkering on this better. It's a little bit bigger. This is really, really fine. It's almost not there. You can't even see it on the front.